told Johnny, tell them Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
yes.
it's a fair fight. It seems how many people believe or side with you.
Yo, shout out to Amber Turd for setting women's rights back a number of years and causing more skepticism for real victims of domestic abuse. If you're like me and you're watching this court case with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, you would realize that she doesn't even realize the severity of what she's done. She's too busy trying to copy his outfits that he wore the previous day. Sister, this isn't a style battle! On some high-key, obscure supervillain shit, I've never seen somebody move this way in my life. You guys want to hear a gross fun fact? So Amber Heard ate a bunch of Taco Bell and then took a big fat smelly in Johnny's bed. At first she blamed it on the dog, but then everybody found out it was really her. Wouldn't be the first time she tried to ruin someone's life. Am I right? Before we get into this video, let's start off with a passage from the very wise Uncle Iroh from The Last Avatar. Johnny, my guy, pay attention to this. Uncle Iroh says, failure is only the opportunity to begin again, only this time more wisely. This case has to be so heated and invested, you guys, and it's even more frustrating because I haven't seen one video that really captures everything that's gone on in this case. So I'm gonna do my best to try and do this in this video. Now, in preparation for this video, I watched over the past couple of nights, I haven't slept. I don't know if you can tell, but I rewatched all of Amber Heard's movies and all of Johnny Depp's movies. So it took me quite a bit of time, and I had an epiphany while doing this research. How about every single movie Amber Heard's been in? She's never been the lead character and never played a vital role in a movie that any other background character couldn't play. For example, I saw that she was credited for Friday Night Lights. I love Friday Night Lights. I think that movie slaps, so I was like, okay, what part did she have in Friday Night Lights? Because I didn't remember her being in that movie. And it turns out that her only part was a couple-minute clip of her hooking up with the football player. So this woman's credited for being in one of the most famous football movies of all time with a throwaway scene where any girl could have played that role.
Who the heck are you?
That's kind of like when we used to play Little League Soccer and we got participation trophies. Doesn't stop there. I watched a lot of her other movies and she's a side character in the majority of the movies that she's in. Her most famous role is the role she played in Aquaman. I rewatched the movie yesterday. You could have replaced her with any other actress in Hollywood. That role was very easy to play because the majority of the movie is fight sequences, a lot of CGI. In summary, she's not a creative, she's not talented, and she doesn't stand out much.
That was awesome.
Meanwhile, right now, let's Google all the movies that Johnny Depp has been in. Well, he just about put the entire Pirates of the Caribbean's franchise on his back and ran with it in Pirates of the Caribbean as Captain Jack Sparrow, for starters. And I'm still not over the Disney betrayal because he's in the ride at Disneyland.
Traitor. You are a traitor.
In Amber Heard's opt-out released in 2018, she alluded that Johnny Depp was physically abusive with her. And only 4 days after this piece was released, Disney decided to fire Johnny Depp from the Pirates of the Caribbean's franchise. And this is something that baffles not only fans, but even Johnny Depp himself. And we can see that by how when he took the stand and talked about it, he was still very broken up about it.
Captain Jack Sparrow was a character that I had built from the ground up and was something that I, of course, put a lot of as you do with all characters, but you put a lot of yourself into the character. So, and also having added much of myself, much of my own rewriting of the dialogue and scenes and the jokes and whatever they are. I didn't quite understand how, after that long relationship and quite a successful relationship, certainly for Disney, but that suddenly I was guilty until proven innocent.
They placed their knife so deep in Johnny Depp's back that he said Disney could offer him $300 million and he still wouldn't come back to play Captain Jack Sparrow. Let that really sink in and fester for a while. We will never sail again with Captain Jack Sparrow. How crazy is it that this no-talent Helen of Troy wannabe cost us at least 5 more Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
I, in fact, had been approached to take part in writing
Objection,
Pirates
hearsay.
6.
Hearsay, hearsay.
I rewatched the movies the other day, and it was bittersweet to rewatch them. If Disney thinks for a second we're gonna watch it without Captain Jack Sparrow, they are trolling. Also, cheers to Johnny Depp for his iconic part in Donnie Brasco. It's one of the best gangster movies I've ever seen in my life. Throughout his stellar career, Johnny has captivated millions, from Sweeney Todd, the murderous barber, to the sad and misunderstood Edward Scissorhands. My mom was a huge Johnny Depp fan. My first movie that she made me watch was Benny and June, and in that movie, Johnny Depp plays the silliest dude I've ever seen. And when I was finished with that happy-go-lucky rom-com, my mother immediately put in Edward Scissorhands for me to watch. And as I'm watching this darker thriller about this guy trying to find his humanity, my mother points out that it's the same person. Honestly, in that moment, I was captivated. My eyes were glued to the screen because I couldn't believe that this guy went from playing this silly character to this darker, mysterious character so effortlessly. Johnny Depp's the kind of actor that would inspire anybody to get into acting. And it's not just acting, even his sense of style is cool, and Amber Heard is trying to jack that as well. When Amber Heard found out that Dior was interested in doing a campaign with Johnny Depp, this is what she had to say. Dior, why would Dior want to do business with you? They're all about class and style, and you don't have style. She also went on to throw more stones at Johnny, calling him a fat old man, which is baffling to me. It's like my mom always told me growing up, those that can't create hate. Not only did Amber Heard physically assault Johnny Depp,
but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights. You've been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this. But I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
She also maliciously lied on multiple occasions to ruin this man's reputation because she couldn't compete with him acting-wise, and she is jealous. Wow, how about I solved the whole case, Your Honor? She was peanut butter and jealous because she's a side character and he's the main character, and that's a fact.
Jealous?
I literally watched all her movies. The only performance where she actually did a little bit of acting was her role in Never Back Down. Every other role she's had in any movie she's been in has been dog shit. And speaking on her lackluster acting ability, have you guys seen the clip of her in court breaking character?
I want the confrontation. She was not in best of moods. You can hear.
Everyone knows you're not supposed to drop character until you've done a DVD commentary.
She has the most incompetent legal team I've ever seen in my entire life.
You were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes, sir.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right.
Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
Poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
In fact, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand when you
would
take
agree,
5 minutes to look for a
you would agree. Do you have the document up?
Online?
No, I'm sorry. Is it in your hand? Okay, great.
I'm actively losing brain cells every time they speak. When they asked our boy if he's done cocaine, I was thinking one of Johnny Depp's most famous movies is Blow, so. Then you got Amber's other attorney, Dumber Fuck, asking for the amount of pressure that Johnny Depp's best friend used while kissing Amber Heard on the cheek.
Now, you said that on the 22nd that you kissed her.
You just touch cheeks and
Okay.
that's that.
So it's a pretty soft, it's kind of like almost a superficial one, or is it a really hard one on the cheek?
No, it's, you kiss someone on the side of the cheek. I don't know, pressure-wise, what kind of talk is there?
I mean, is it just
talk?
one of these little pecks, or is it much harder?
No, it's a regular. You touch, you touch and boink, and that's that.
So you think it was pretty hard? You peck her on the cheek pretty hard every time?
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
For all the law students, comment below, but I'm pretty sure the California bar is one of the hardest ones. How is this even possible that they're in this courtroom?
And then you went in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
Mr. Depp's penis.
I'll allow. Next question.
If I was a law student watching this, I would be doing a fist pump because you're gonna pass and you're gonna make it. If these morons can make it, so can you. Also, from her copying his style and wearing what he wore on the previous day, it's very clear that she just wants to be him so bad. I've watched every bit of these two together in the courtroom, and something I find funny that Amber constantly does is she will stare at Johnny Depp, mean mug him, and then when he smiles back or looks back at her, she'll immediately write something down on her little notepad. And she's probably writing something like, he smiled at me, he's antagonizing me. The other day, Amber came into court wearing all black and her hair was in a swirl which resembled a turd, which is on brand because I think her name should be changed from Amber Heard to Amber Turd. Amber Turd. Okay, I just manifested it, so now it's a thing. Meanwhile, Johnny came in looking fresh, sporting a Hugo Boss suit with the shady ponytail. Stay being you, King. Stay being an icon.
Morning, everyone. I hope you had a nice weekend.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
Mr. Depp, we've talked about this a little bit, but you've testified that abuse can come in many forms, correct? Physical being one of them.
So Hearsay Dude's opening statement is basically listing all the different kinds of abuse to somehow try and associate Johnny's good name with abuse. The main purpose of a cross-examination is to put doubt in the jury's mind. So what he's doing here is trying to name all these bad things, very triggering words, in order to associate Johnny Depp's name with that and to try and convince the jury that it is possible that he could be an abusive guy because he does drugs, which proves nothing, right? That's their entire spiel and something that they've done throughout this entire case.
Defendant's Exhibit 582 that we will play the entirety of.
Go put your fucking cigarettes out on someone else. You fucking have consequences for your actions. That's it.
Shut up, fat ass.
Yeah, you got me there.
Whoa, that's hella loaded. Johnny goes on to say that he never, in fact, put a cigarette out on Amber.
I think that was another grossly exaggerated moment of Miss Heard's. I did not put a cigarette out on her or throw a cigarette at her.
I expected the next tape to back up the previous tape, which was 582, but it doesn't.
Show up at my doorstep in my room saying you want to say goodbye. Okay, say goodbye.
Oh, I said it?
Yes, you did say it. I'll go to the text messages so that we're clear on the tape.
Yes, you said it before to me.
Okay.
From this clip, it's clear to tell that Amber and Johnny are both drunk, but she's not too drunk to secretly record him, much like she did when his mother passed and she took that secret video of him banging on cabinets and being really frustrated because once again, his mother passed.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened?
Just imagine this is your husband, and instead of comforting him in his time of need, you secretly record him to try and ruin his life and get more money out of him. This is like watching Superman get his ass beat by Darkseid. It's not a good feeling, and I think that this sentiment that I have is shared by everybody that has been watching this case because it's very obvious that this girl has lied. And from the leaked audio tapes, like, I'm not really sure how this even made it to trial. I didn't think that it should because her iconic clip of her saying that she didn't punch him, she was hitting him, should be evidence enough. Johnny's wearing a suit cord looking fly, so I threw on a sports coat because this man's a fashion icon and I want to pay my respects. Yeah, I'm not wearing pants because I live in Hawaii and it's hot as balls out.
Sean Bailey was quoted as saying that...
Objection, hearsay.
Mr. Depp, where was Sean Bailey quoted without getting...
Basically said in the...
Objection, hearsay. Hearsay.
It appears that Miss Heard had told...
Hearsay, Your
Miss Heard that...
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor.
Hearsay, hearsay, hearsay. If her attorney was an action figure, you'd push his back and he would say hearsay. Guys, I'm not the only one devastated about this. Johnny's friend Billy Joel can't even paint no more.
I can't even paint anymore. I've stopped painting for the last who knows how many years.
I'm just kidding, that's not Billy Joel, but it honestly looked like him. I was high watching this trial the other day and I had to take a second look a couple times. On a more serious note, have you guys seen the iconic clip when the psychologist takes the stand and provides more information that backs up a lot of what Johnny Depp said about Amber's toxic behavior?
People have a lot of incentive to present themselves in a way that's going to benefit their case. And they may want to look like they're sicker than they really are. They may want to look much healthier than they really are. And the MMPI-2 has a set of validity scales, we call them. With histrionic personality disorder, what you're going to see is extreme discomfort with not being the center of attention.
Her dirty, stinky face she makes right here, I'm sure you've gathered that Amber's in denial about being an attention seeker and faking PTSD. Maybe if Amber was a better actress or just had common sense, she would realize that she's on a live broadcasted courtroom and we can see every face she makes. Truly pains me that a guy I looked up to my entire life came home for 15 months to a woman that was trying to sabotage him and secretly record him. You ever seen that movie Parasite with those weird fucks living in the basement? This is worse than that because this parasite's trying to kill the host. Let's see no more evidence from Amber Heard and her legal team. They played a bunch of audio clips that had nothing to do with the opening statement.
Walking away is necessary. Is necessary, especially between you and I. It is. of utmost importance. Because the next move, if I don't walk away, or just go out for a little while, it's just gonna be a bloodbath. And like it, you know, like it was on the island, of course, like it was, you know. It's not worth it, man.
His evidence is that Johnny Depp said the word bloodbath. They have no case. I would never legally represent Amber Heard because that would be unethical, but I feel like I'm more qualified to represent her, and I've only watched the O.J. Simpson trial show on Netflix and How to Get Away with Murder. Why would you follow up your initial accusation with audio clips that don't support your opening statement? Actually, after sitting with that thought for a while, it makes sense that her legal team are side characters as well. Hope everyone's having a Shrek-tacular day. My name is Your Wet Attorney, and I have some questions for Mrs. Heard. While Mrs. Turd and her attorneys were busy making fools of themselves, I was doodling and, you know, spending more time perfecting my craft, which is art, and I'm pretty good, if I could say so myself. Your Honor, in this low-budget courtroom, I'd like to put Mrs. Turd on the stand real quick. As you all are aware, Mrs. Turd called Johnny Depp an old fat man and said that him and his friends are boring. His friends include Tim Burton, Orlando Bloom, Keith Richards, Marilyn Manson, Nicolas Cage. Nani? Mrs. Turd, what did you say you took your position for granted given the fact that you had all these main characters over at Mr. Depp's house, and instead of learning something from great men, you prioritized tearing yours down? It begs the question, why wouldn't you ask these great men for tips with your acting? Because as we can see from your lackluster performances as a background character, you don't really stand out much. If we could only turn back time, right? Who knows? Maybe if you asked for tips and bettered your acting, you wouldn't need to sleep around for your movie roles.
How do you think she got Aquaman, sir?
Hearsay! Your Honor, I don't think the courtroom has laughed enough. Would it be okay if I played a clip of Amber's elite Wish.com legal team objecting their own question?
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Okay.
I and many were truly moved seeing Johnny Depp's sister take the stand to defend her brother's name. My question to Mrs. Heard is why she felt it was necessary to tell Johnny's sister to stay out of their relationship. Wouldn't you want to have a good relationship with your sister-in-law if your feelings for Johnny were in fact genuine? It's common knowledge by now that Mrs. Heard took many secret recordings and pictures of Johnny Depp throughout their entire relationship. My question to her is why? Your husband fell asleep eating an ice cream cone, and instead of cleaning it up and helping your husband go to sleep, you instead felt it necessary to document his ongoing battle with drugs and alcohol. You're evil. Interesting that this was preordained, because that's what it seems. It seems like throughout your entire relationship you were gathering evidence against Mr. Depp. Why were you so insistent on him putting you in his will? And why did you feel entitled to many of his properties? Two of which said properties were properties that Johnny Depp had the title to long before you entered into his life. So why do you feel entitled to his many assets? It baffles me to this day because I don't know why someone would feel entitled to properties they didn't help obtain. Why did you feel it necessary to gaslight and manipulate Mr. Depp? Why did you cheat on him numerous times with numerous partners? And why does Amber think no one would believe Johnny Depp because he's a white male? I and many others find it sickening she said this, given the fact that we are all the human race. You know, regardless of race, religion, we are all the same. And from all the evidence brought to light against Mrs. Heard, it seems like she used the momentum of the Me Too movement to make up a gross lie about Mr. Depp. Mrs. Turd, was it just for attention, or could you not handle being forever known as Johnny Depp's ex? Many speculate that the shadow Johnny Depp cast froze Amber's bones. Everyone is on the side of the victim of abuse, and in this case, it is Johnny Depp. Your Honor, after Mr. Depp wins this case, and he will, it will be forever remembered as the time where Mrs. Turd almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. No further questions, Your Honor. Whoa, shout out to Your Wet Attorney. He understood the assignment despite not passing the bar, unlike Freckle and Jekyll, aka Amber Turd's legal team.
The only person that I have ever abused in my life is myself.
Depp, is this a picture of you passed out in a chair during daylight hours?
Passed out during daylight hours? This guy's such a square. You've never heard of a midday nap? Hey, bud, I don't know if you've done your research for this case, but Johnny Depp is 58. When I'm 58 years old, I'm probably gonna take 2 naps per day. This is a common tactic that her shitter team does, is use the word pass out instead of sleep to allude to the fact that he took some form of drugs or alcohol to pass out. It gets me so heated that they're trying to constantly do this and paint him in a negative light, but I'm happy that Johnny cleared up the situation for him.
Again, isn't passed out, that's a very specific term. Sleep could be one.
I'm not exaggerating, 30 minutes go by and her attorneys provide no audio tapes to back up the opening statement.
Let's try it this way. This is a picture of you in a chair, correct?
That is correct.
Move for the admission of 1092, Your Honor.
Any objection?
I'm relevance, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm trying to move this along, and when we stop with relevance,
You want to lay a foundation? I just don't.
The only things her attorney asks are dumbass questions like, hey, Johnny, did anyone write negative articles about you before 2018?
There were lots of negative stories about you prior to May 27, 2016, when Amber went into court, correct?
Objection asked and answered.
As the new rulers of the nether realm, heed me.
Hey, bud, there's Fortnite kids age 12 that are aware that A-list celebrities get both negative and positive articles written about them by various different media outlets. So you might want to, I don't know, grow a brain.
There are plenty of negative stories about you prior to that date, weren't there?
Sir, I've been in the racket of Hollywood since 1984.
Mr. Depp, I'm asking you a yes or no question. There were plenty of negative news stories about you prior to May 27, 2016, correct?
From 1984 up until then, they're both. So, of course, people write negative stories.
I don't know about you guys, but my main news source right now are YouTube and TikTok. Right now, there's TikToks flying around that Jada Smith doesn't, in fact, have that hair loss disease, which, if that's true, that's crazy. There's also rumors flying around that her and Will Smith are getting a divorce. So it just shows like anyone can make up a story about anybody. And it's so fucking obvious that if you're a big dick dog like Johnny Depp, you're gonna have a bunch of little jealous shitters throwing stones at you, right?
No more! I can't take it anymore.
So the argument that Loser Lame's trying to make is it doesn't matter if Mrs. Turd said that you were allegedly abusive to her in this article because there were negative articles written about you before she said that. Hey bud, how about let's look at the stats real quick. Amber has a history of domestic violence and Johnny Depp doesn't, first of all. Amber Turd is the only woman in history to accuse Johnny Depp of physical abuse. No one else has done that. And the funniest part is we have her on audio saying that she hit him. Off camera, Johnny's a very introverted guy with a kind nature. Take it from me, him and dad are friends. Johnny's friends, family, and anyone that has had the pleasure of working with him has labeled him as a gem of a human being. Usually it's common for abusers to want to isolate their prey, and Johnny let Amber hang out with her friends and go out anytime she wanted to. Have y'all ever heard of reactive abuse? I'm gonna explain it real quick, and if anyone has, suffered or been a victim of reactive abuse, I'm sorry this might be a little bit triggering for you, but I'm gonna explain it right now. It's when an abuser provokes the victim to react, then calls them abusive for reacting. The victim may scream, insult, or lash out physically at the abuser. The abuser then claims they are the victim, and the actual victim is labeled as the aggressor. Sometimes this is referred to as emotional baiting, and it's clearly the case with Johnny and Amber's relationship. Amber Heard was arrested in Washington State back in 2009 for domestic violence against her then partner, Van Rhee. Interestingly enough, Amber asked the police to delete her arrest record when she started dating Mr. Depp. This begs the question, is Amber a serial abuser? The question on my mind and many fans worldwide is why is it that Johnny Depp has to spend millions of dollars to clear his name? Meanwhile, Amber can still be in movies in Hollywood. She should be blacklisted from any movies in Hollywood. And I'm sorry, Jason Momoa, he's a big stud, but I'm not gonna see Aquaman 2 if that bitch is in the movie. Right now, let's look at Johnny describe the turd that was left in his bed by Amber.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
My side of the bed was human fecal matter. I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. My initial response to that was, I laughed. It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh.
This woman's absolutely insane. The only good thing that has happened and come out of this case are all the memes. Hey, Your Honor, it be true. I returned to me chambers one evening and the winch had left a lord the size of my arm beside my pillow. Recently, the front desk employee testified on the penthouse incident and he was hella chill.
Crashes like 4 inches above the floor on your door. That was the dog trying to get into the unit. They were so afraid. Oh, somebody's trying to get into my unit. They're like, oh, come on, really? And I actually, when they asked me to go inside the units just to check room by room to make sure no one was there.
So Amber saw scratches on her door, and instead of using common sense to realize that it was in fact a dog, she thought someone was breaking into the penthouse. So she had the guy working the front desk come up to check every room for her to make sure no one was inside the penthouse. We also learned from this guy that he never once saw Amber with bruises, and he is a very observant person. He also mentioned that he has a bad habit of looking people directly in the eyes when he sees them, so he would have definitely paid attention to her face. How about every person they question says the same thing? She's very aggressive and Johnny's very calm. Let's look at that exchange between Amber Heard's attorneys and Dr. Curry, who is Johnny Depp's psychologist.
Now, you did not disclose in any of the designations or your report that you had met with and had dinner and drinks with Mr. Depp, did you?
I did not disclose that I was interviewed by the legal team, no.
I asked a different question. Are you trying to resist that you didn't have dinner with Mr. Depp?
Once again, her attorney is, of course, reaching here because she's trying to paint the picture that it was just Mrs. Curry and Johnny Depp at dinner alone, but in fact, his entire legal team was also there.
And drinks?
I'm not trying to resist that, but it's not quite right.
You did have dinner with Mr. Depp, did you not?
I did, with
and
his
you had
legal
drinks
team
with
and
Mr. Depp, did you not?
And what?
You had drinks with Mr. Depp, did you not?
Drinks were served. This was over 2 years ago. I may have had a drink with dinner, yes.
Dr. Curry is a respected psychologist with her own practice and obviously a skilled communicator, and we can see that by how she disarmed all the bullshit that Amber's legal team threw her way. Amber Heard's a narcissist, and her deep-rooted psychological issues were brought to light and explained carefully to the public by Dr. Curry. I'm going to link Dr. Curry's testimony in the bio of this video. It was impressive to watch, and I will cover it in my next video on this Johnny Amber case. In summary, Amber Turd severed Johnny's finger, burned his face with a cig, slapped him, scratched him, threw things at him, gaslighted and manipulated him on multiple occasions, lied on multiple occasions, pooped in his bed, and tried to ruin his reputation, yet she still wants to portray herself as the victim. If Johnny Depp doesn't win this case, all my hope in humanity is lost.
Impossible. I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later.
You heard Miss Heard say, "Get off me," right?
No, I did not. I heard distant screaming, and I heard, "I'll talk to you later, I'll talk to you later."
Let's look at Exhibit 857, please.
This is actually the essence of her legal team's strategy, is to constantly hit him with dumb shit and not let him speak. I feel so bad for Johnny here because this is such a waste of his valuable time. He could be making movie magic with Tim Burton right now. Their arguments are so weak, and it's to the point where it's actually really hard to sit down and watch the entire court hearing because it's just all a bunch of bullshit.
Your Honor, move for admission of defendants Exhibit 330.
We've already seen Exhibit 69, 134, and all the other exhibit audio tapes that you have shown us. Clearly, this woman maliciously waits until this star is vulnerable to pounce on him and try to steer the conversation into him admitting something that he didn't in fact do.
She tells you at 12:41 p.m., "I'm at a coffee meeting now, we'll be home soon." And then you respond, "Holy crack horse, no goddamn meetings, no movies. Why? Why do you deviate from our agreement? What species of meeting? Fuck it, just tell me when you get home." Did I read that right?
You did, but a coffee meeting.
You didn't want her to take the meeting that she was taking that day, correct?
It seems as though we had an agreement, what seems like we had an agreement to do something together. I'm actually asking what species of meeting. So this is not necessarily an angry text. It's just, why do you deviate from our agreement? It's not about her doing films. How do you think she got Aquaman, sir?
You tell her no goddamn meetings, no movies, because you didn't want her acting. You wanted to control her career, correct?
Objection, compound.
That's
hold
patently
on,
untrue,
Mr.
and it's a
Mr.
great
Depps,
guess.
sir. All right, yes, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Her career. Oh, he's getting in the way of her career. How about no one knew who the f this girl was before she got with Johnny Depp, and that's a fact. God, I didn't realize this was a comedy show. We already looked at her lackluster movie spread, and oh my God, what CGI dog shit that was. Such a dumb point to make given the amount of times that Amber Heard has cheated on Johnny Depp and got caught for it. Her most notable people that she cheated with are Elon Musk and James Franco. So when she says, "I'm going to get coffee for a business meeting," I'm sure that he would have a lot of questions about that and want to verify that she was in fact doing business and wasn't spreading her legs to some other high-profile actor in Hollywood.
How do you think she got Aquaman, sir.
How ironic is it that Mr. Hearsay wants to form an argument that in any way, shape, or form, Johnny Depp hindered Amber Heard's acting career? Real question, how many times can we catch this girl in a lie? This girl was even exposed as a liar from the makeup company that she said she used to cover up the bruises from Johnny Depp. Like everything, Amber didn't really think this through, given the fact that the makeup palette that she said she used to cover up the bruises came out a whole ass year after the supposed abuse happened. Hopefully this can be a lesson to all the shitter social climbing scum in Hollywood. Here's an idea, maybe instead of focusing on the climb, you can instead work on getting better at your craft.
Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence. And
Yes.
it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
And what did you say in response when Miss Heard said, tell the world, Johnny, tell them Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence?
I said, yes, I am.
Interesting argument, Amber, that white men can't be victims of domestic abuse.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Man, it's been fun talking to you guys. Make sure to comment and subscribe if you want to. I'm going to be making updates about this case. Don't forget to go on walks because I know all the negativity with this case, and this girl is lowering everybody's vibrations. So make sure to go outside, go on a walk, clear your head. I've been doing that too. I didn't give a shit as much about the Will Smith situation because that didn't really affect me, right? But this affects me because I was robbed of at least five Banger Pirates movies. Sorry, I keep going on and on. Very chatty. I could talk about this shit all day. Comment below, subscribe, leave your review. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.